I don't know what the little weird music at the end of that is. It's kind of strange, but we're on a new season of Sunday Night Suns. It's season 2. I'm the Blunt Doctor with my man Keith Strider. What's up, Keith? How you doing?
Great. How you doing?
You like us? You really like us? We're back for season 2, renewed by our very expensive podcast carrier. Contract negotiations were tough. We demanded a huge raise, and they were like, "I don't know that we can pay this." And we were like, "If you want the number one Phoenix Suns podcast in the entire world back, you have to triple our salary."
Yeah.
And they agreed to do it.
Yeah.
So our salaries are tripled, and we are back for season 2 on what is now the most expensive Phoenix Suns podcast ever. We spend $10 million per episode of this show just on the electricity alone. That sign cost $10 million an episode. So
money well spent.
Money well spent. I agree. It's how you know that you've reached the supremium levels as we're simulcast all around the globe. You know, this is aired in 192 countries. It's rebroadcast into 36 different languages. Most of those languages don't exist, but that's not really my problem. I don't really know what I smoked weed for the first time today, a few minutes ago, and I'm all over it. So
I like it.
That's how I waited. I waited till right now. It's weird. Like we're in the middle of like one of the craziest basketball stories in the world with the Knicks making the finals.
Right.
Which again, like, here's what I'll say. If the Knicks won the championship, that is good for the NBA, but bad for the world. Because if New Yorkers have the best mayor in the world and the NBA champion, they're going to be the most insufferable people of all time.
Yeah. I won't be able to go on the NBA subreddit, you know. Mm-mm. I'll be happy for Mikal.
I'd be happy for Mikal. I'd be happy for Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
But, like, there's just something. There's millions of them. And they're going to flood everything. And all the bandwagon Knicks fans and all that. You know, it's going to be awful. And so that's why there's, like, if the Thunder win, I'm, like, okay with it. Just because, again, you know, both Thunder fans won't make that much noise. So,
right.
You know, you saw their parade last year. It was like, like there were like 20 people. Like it was like they had like fences, and there was no need for fences. they weren't like you see these great parade videos in, you know, Boston and Philadelphia and San Francisco, everywhere. You know, there's millions of people or hundreds of thousands of people, and everyone's drinking. They're throwing beers to the player, and you know, in Oklahoma City, it's like it was like. You would think like the whole state of Oklahoma would show up for that.
Maybe they did. No one lives there.
It wasn't even like what you would see at like an Oklahoma State football game. Like it was so sad. Nobody cares about that team.
I care about them in the sense that I hate them when they play us.
I hate them too. And so it's like that's the thing is like all these scenarios suck because we have 3 scenarios. Number 1, the Knicks win. And we all have to fucking deal with literally an entire fucking year of New Yorker bullshit.
Yeah.
Which is just like, you know, I don't know how you guys go grocery shopping when you don't have bodegas and all this other stupid bullshit that they say. And I don't know how you don't have bagels with New York water and okay, all right. Everything is. So we're going to have to hear that more than we hear it now. Or we have to deal with the Thunder potentially like building a dynasty and like constantly every single conversation about, you know, ranking SGA with Michael Jordan and all this other bullshit.
Yeah.
Or, and as a Suns fan, this is the worst, is if Wembanyama like gets his reign of terror started early.
You're right.
And launches the Spurs back to the top of the NBA discussion before we've even won a single championship.
I know.
Like,
it's like I worry that our window's closed with Wemby, you know, hitting his stride. But
I mean, that's the thing is that you have to just attack. Like I said to you the other day, like, you know, even Wilt Chamberlain had Bill Russell.
Right.
There's all, you know, Shaq had Ben Wallace. There's always someone.
We have man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, who the hell knows what Malawatch might be able to do? And We expect a lot of growth, but yeah, it's like, dude, like if the Spurs win this year, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, because I think the Knicks would beat the Spurs, but I think the Thunder would beat the Knicks. That's where I'm at right now. But I think the Spurs can beat the Thunder.
Yeah.
I legitimately think any of these three teams can win. I think it could go multiple ways. I even could see a world where the Knicks could upset the Thunder. I'm not saying that's impossible. I'm just saying I would pick the Knicks against the Spurs, and I would pick the Thunder against the Knicks, is what I'm saying. As good as Wemby is, I think that the Knicks offense is just so good right now that even with Wemby playing at like unbelievable levels, the rest of the Spurs roster is just so young. They're not going to be able to make enough threes to keep up with what the Knicks are bludgeoning people. And it's just like their chemistry is through the fucking roof. And, again, I know that Wemby is an alien that has never been seen before. And I keep picking things wrong. I literally just re-recorded Blood Doctor Forever with a nod to the Cavs, and they got fucking swept in the most embarrassing way ever. So, like, what the fuck do I know? But this is what I feel. So
it started well, for that.
I mean, that's true. I should have shut my mouth and not said anything. I started that way. I said Jared Allen's just gonna get revenge. I don't really feel that he did, unfortunately. So that's unfortunately that's how that goes sometimes. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, do you have any sort of just thoughts on the finals or the any of that stuff?
I like the West over the East. So
either way,
yeah. So I think if the Thunder, I think if the Spurs are able to beat the Thunder, I think they would beat the Knicks. But I guess that remains to be seen what's going to go on with that. I still think the Thunder will pull it out. Really, it's almost a toss-up in my mind. I have no idea, actually. So we'll see how this next game goes.
I just think that the level of rest that the Knicks have had that we'll have had by that point, and the level of chemistry that they have, and the level of three-point shooting, they have a few things. The other thing is that they have so many fucking guys to throw at Wembanyama from a wing perspective.
Yeah.
Mitchell Robinson is one of the few dudes who's big enough to bang with Wemby and rebound with him. And they've got Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby to, if nothing else, just annoy the shit out of Wemby. And so and Karl Towns is a defensive black hole, fine. But offensively, the Spurs fall into a black hole. I mean, they're just so young. You're relying on Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle to play major roles in your championship run. And maybe you say, no, we're really depending on De'Aaron Fox and Devin Vassell, and we think the veterans, and okay, I just think that stylistically, the Thunder struggle with the Spurs because the Thunder, as good offensively as they are, without Jalen Williams right now, don't shoot the lights out in the way that the Knicks do. Okay. And I just think matchup-wise, the more I think about it, I honestly think I'm starting like the Knicks just might win. Like they are built so well, and they have figured out like how to use 7 or 8 guys in such a way in so many constructions that it hides the fact that Jalen Brunson is so small and he's so good on offense. I mean, dude, he gets hot and there's nothing you can do. He has 50 points before you know what happens. So,
to their, I honestly don't watch the Knicks play a lot. I haven't watched their series a lot in this playoff run. So I really have no idea, but
they have a level of depth and chemistry right now that they've never had.
Yeah.
And the issues that you would typically point out with them defensively from the perspective of Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson are so well mitigated by Mitchell Robinson minutes and the fact that they have 3 really good defensive wings. That the one thing about the Knicks this year is that they kind of went higher than we expected last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then this year, everyone sort of expected them to blow the field away a little bit, and they didn't. But they have in the playoffs. They've been fucking destroying people in the playoffs. And that matters so much more. I don't care that they loafed through the regular season because they knew what they had. When they have reached the playoffs, they have flipped the switch. If they had not done that, then you could rightly say, hey, they didn't prove it. And then they acted like they had earned something and then they blew it. But instead, they have stomped through the Eastern Conference. I mean, it's not been close. They've destroyed everyone. Every single closeout game, they're fucking people up. They're up by 20 points in the first quarter. Like, this is the best Knicks team probably ever. Like, I understand that they have 2 championships in 1970 and 1973, but like, you know, those teams these guys would destroy that team. You know, like if you want to just look at it by like what they've done, obviously those teams are the best. But I'm just saying, like talent wise, this is literally probably the best Knicks team of all time. Even all the 90s Ewing Knicks teams, this team is ridiculous. So it's going to be very interesting to see, you know, what they're capable of. And I'm with you though. Like, the West is better, and there may just be a level of, excuse me, whoever survives that series is so tough. But I also think there's a possibility that thing goes to 7 games.
Yeah.
And someone goes into the finals, beat the fuck up, and the Knicks are sitting there like, you know, we've been healthy and we're ready to shoot some threes.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
You know, I would like the, you know, I prefer the Knicks to win, honestly. Like, I don't like the Thunder. I don't like the Spurs, you know.
Yeah, I mean, Knicks fans will be annoying, but like, you know, it'll be fun for the NBA to have the Knicks be good. Like the trash talk level of things is good.
Yeah, we always do well in Madison Square Garden. So.
Yeah, and it would be fun for, you know, to see Booker there next season after the Knicks won. Like that means that every Knicks game will be nothing but celebrities and everyone will see. But, you know, I get all that.
Yeah.
And I'm really not against it. It's just that I'll have to like take a year off social media because Knicks fans will be insufferable, and Knicks podcasters and Knicks media, it just will be insufferable. It will be like after the Lakers won the COVID championship, and Lakers media were just the most insufferable people in the world, and that's what this will be.
That could be good though. You know, take a break off of social media for a year.
I thought you were saying it could be good, like in terms of like fun, but yeah, you're like, no, you need help. You need a mental health break.
I think everyone does. Yeah,
that's fair. Everyone should take a break from social media forever.
Yeah.
Every data center in the world should be destroyed. They say after making jokes about tripling their salary from 0 to 0.
I wanted 100 times my salary. You know.
Yeah,
and they did it. They did it. You know,
Keith negotiated way harder than me.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really dumb trade rumors out there right now for the Suns. So let's look at some of these. Unless you have anything else to say about that, we're good.
No,
right
yeah.
now. Let's take a look at some of these. We'll just go to social media. Why the hell not?
Of course, it was ESPN.
Yeah, this was an ESPN trade that was Ja Morant. Essentially, the trade is Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, Haywood Highsmith, Jamari Bouye, and 2 second-round picks.
Get out of here.
For Ja Morant. Yeah. Okay, so you're saying no to that trade, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm saying no to that trade too. Here's the thing. First of all, I don't even the trade package is sort of irrelevant. I don't fucking want Ja Morant on my team. I don't want Ja Morant on the Phoenix Suns. I don't want him anywhere near the Phoenix Suns because he's been nothing but a problem for years now. The last time Ja Morant was like a really good player was years ago. And so there's a certain point where I don't want anything to do with this dude.
Yeah, I guess my question would be is like, how does Dylan Brooks feel about it? Like if he was like on board, would that change your mind at all? Like if he's like, no, like I can get him to work with us. Like,
no, because Dylan Brooks' exit from Memphis was really bad.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't think that Dylan would say that. I think Dylan would be pissed.
I think so too. Yeah.
Like, I think Dylan would be like, I hate this motherfucker. He basically, because dude, like, don't forget, they like all basically blamed Dylan Brooks and said that like the reason they lost in the playoffs was him talking to LeBron and all this shit. And they haven't won a fucking thing since Dylan Brooks left. So like Dylan Brooks has been basically vindicated by the fact that he did set the culture for that team. He was the reason anything that was going well for them. And now, why would you then go out and like get the dude who ran him out of there?
Right.
That would be crazy to me. Now, okay, you're saying in a scenario where Dylan Brooks is like, no, I know. Okay.
If you vouch for him, yeah.
Like if he okay. Does him vouching for him include some sort of workout in which Ja Morant can prove that he is still Ja Morant.
Yeah. You would need to do that.
Yeah.
I still don't want John. I'm just wondering, like, how you would feel if Dylan Brooks gave his sign off on it.
Dylan Brooks has a lot of sway in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what I'm saying. I don't think there's any world in which Dylan Brooks would be okay with that.
Right.
But let's say that there was a world and he said, no, I know this dude, blah, blah, whatever. I mean, number one, I hate the trade.
Yeah,
I hate the trade.
Giving up way too much.
You're giving up way too much for a dude who's on, again, I said this to you earlier, like, I think if you called the league, if you polled the league and said, would you rather trade for Ja Morant or Grayson Allen? The league would say Grayson Allen. They're like, I'd rather take a 3-and-D role player than a headache.
Yeah. And a huge contract.
Yeah. So, like, here's where I come down on this. I don't want Ja Morant anywhere near my team. If Dylan Brooks was like, trust me, I know this guy can do it, I would say, okay, Dylan, but the trade package doesn't work for us at all, and he makes too much money, and there's no way to fit it in. So I appreciate that you think it would work, but we're not doing this.
Yeah.
Like, the only way I would be okay considering any of this is if Memphis bought Ja Morant out and the Suns were signing him for nothing and could cut him immediately for nothing. That's the only way. If you can pick up Ja Morant literally on a veteran's minimum because his brand is so damaged, like, I will listen to that. Down the stretch. But it's like, what are you doing with Jalen Green then?
Yeah.
You're going to play Ja Morant, Devin Booker, Jalen Green. You're getting rid of Colin Gillespie. It's like, it just doesn't. And how does it work? How do Ja Morant and Devin Booker play together like at all?
Morant, I guess he would be the point guard in that scenario.
And he has to have the ball all the time. So Booker never has the ball again, and it's just the same shit we had with KD.
That would be my worry with Morant, is like, how willing is he to give up the ball?
And if he's giving up the ball, what's the fucking point of having Ja Morant on your team?
Yeah.
Like, the whole point of Ja Morant is the high-flying dunks and shit. It doesn't work in the playoffs. It doesn't go anywhere. He can't defend anyone. I don't want this guy. There's no, and I don't understand why people keep trying to, like, make this a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't understand why it keeps being a thing with us specifically.
Because he showed up to one of our games or something, I think it was. I don't even know. Yeah, there was footage of him at one of our later games of the season. I think it was like one of our last games. But I don't. And then I saw him at that. Maybe that was. Okay.
Ja Morant did watch the Phoenix Suns beat the Warriors.
Okay.
So he was in a suite there.
So that's where that's how it all started. Yeah.
I mean, that's so stupid. Like, we talked about the Aaron Gordon thing that has been shot down. I've seen a million Giannis. I'm like, you guys are like, you're drunk. Like, you're like, the Suns are nowhere. They have nowhere near the assets to even get into discussion for Giannis.
Right.
And
trade half our team.
Yeah. And like, just like, we've already been down this road. Like, it's so stupid. I hate Suns fans that are talking about that. It's like, you're not paying attention. I've seen the Miles Bridges thing come up again, and it's just like, no, I don't want this guy who beat the shit out of his wife in front of his kid. Like,
is he a center or what? Like,
he's a forward.
Yeah. I'm looking for a big guy or a point guard. I'm actually kind of wanting a point guard more. But.
Well, okay, so on the big guy front, here's another one. Anthony Davis has been mentioned. So
he's never healthy.
Yeah. Now let's pretend for a moment that we still had our really good health staff. Okay. So in the same way that you were talking about Dylan Brooks vouching, let's say that for whatever reason, our health staff next season, and our health staff has been pretty good. Like, Devin Booker's never had, we haven't had a lot of season ending injuries. They got Brooks back.
Right.
I think our staff is still pretty good, and our climate is definitely good for aging players' bodies. Guys who have a lot of like knick-knacky stuff, this climate is very good for that.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot less swelling here because of the heat. So there's going to be, let's say, like, also, the Mavericks rushed him back last year, all these things. Like, you don't have to give him an extension. You've got 2 years left on his deal. It's a ton of money. But he's willing to come here, and your doctors are reasonably convinced that with this climate, blah blah etc. That he can play 60 games a year, and he can be he's Anthony Davis.
I mean, I would not want him. Like
You don't want
unless
Anthony
there's a crystal ball that says he's healthy. Like if I knew he was going to be healthy, then that's a different story. But if I'm just going off the doctors hoping, I couldn't do it. And 60 games is that's not enough for is he playing in the playoffs? Like,
well, 60 games is 60 games is like what a lot of. I mean, they're okay. 65 games is the All NBA thing that they're trying to make. Like, but a lot of stars are playing 60 to 65 games a season now with load management and stuff. Okay. So when I said 60 games, I meant that as like he's playing 3/4 of the season. That's good. I was actually saying that as a good thing. Okay. But the fact that you took that negative also shows how you view that situation. Yeah. So, and yeah, I mean, the thing is that it would be like Grayson Allen, Jalen Green, and Royce O'Neal. So, like, you would be again gutting the team.
Yeah.
I just don't, it just doesn't make any sense. Like I understand the concept.
Yeah.
But you have to gut the entire team of all of its role players and give up on Jalen. And you're just again making the team older, you know?
If we could figure out a way to keep Green and Dillon,
there would be
Brooks,
no way.
Yeah.
You would have to trade Dillon Brooks then. You could not keep.
Yeah.
You would not be able to. The Bradley Beal contract situation makes it completely impossible because that $20 million dead money forces us, unless you were going to trade Booker.
I just think he's broken. I just don't think he has a healthy season in him.
And I think that's reasonable. I think that's the same problem with Aaron Gordon.
Yeah.
Right? Like the exact same problem that Aaron Gordon has is that both of these guys, they're going to like 33, and you're expecting them to be healthier than they were at 31, 30.
That's healthy then.
Yeah.
When's the last year he played like a full year? Like
AD?
Yeah.
2 years ago.
2 years ago?
I mean, AD, I think he's had recent years where he was pretty good.
I feel like once you lose 2 years and you're at that age, it's really hard to come back.
I agree with that.
I don't know. Can you think of a player that has had KD has come back a little bit, but even then he didn't play in the play. He missed a lot of the games in the Rockets series. So it's like,
the one thing I would say for AD is that none of his injuries they're not severe.
Okay.
We're talking about a groin tear, some hamstring stuff. Like there's no like recent evidence of, there's no Achilles tear. I think he had an ACL tear when he was like younger, like 24, but that's not ever been an issue again. The problem is he can't shoot. He doesn't really want to play center. Like he would have to be.
He doesn't want to be center.
No, like he wants to play power forward. He would have to. I don't.
That's the whole reason I would want him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, he will do it. He just prefers to play next to another big man. And so then you're in this situation where you're playing Anthony Davis and Malawach together, or Anthony Davis and Oso together, which I don't hate.
But I'm okay with that.
The problem is that neither of them can shoot.
Yeah.
And then it's like you have two guys who can't shoot. There are some teams that can make that work. And maybe defensively, it's so good that, like, obviously, if it's prime Anthony Davis, or let me put it to you this way, even if it's not prime Anthony Davis, if it's 33-year-old Anthony Davis, who has still been awesome, and it's just that he's a year older, I'm absolutely interested in this. Mm-hmm. It's just that it's been injury problems. But again, also the Mavericks were very fucking stupid with the way that they brought him back early because they wanted to make their GM look good in the Luka trade. That is like literally true. So like that was horrible. The Suns have been so cautious. Like, they held Jalen Green out forever.
Yeah.
And then when he got hurt again, they held him out forever again. Yeah. So it just, I tend to agree with you. It just again, it's like the issue here is cost.
Right.
Like if Anthony Davis was a free agent and looking to rehab his image and would sign a 1-year, deal at like for the mid-level, like, of course, you're like, yes, of course. Yeah. but it's like, those are not, obviously that's not a realistic thing. I'm just saying that, like, he's not, like, he thought when he got traded to the Wizards that he would get like a max extension, and they were like, we're not extending you. Like, you are going to be 35 years old. Like, it's so I don't know. Like, just what if they included picks that help you start rebuilding? Like, what if so it's Jalen Green, Royce O'Neal, and Grayson Allen, and then they are sending picks with Anthony Davis. They're like, we understand, but we have this young dude we want to play.
What picks do they have?
Oh, we just lost you. Oh no, we have.
I might have to jump in.
No, we're having technical difficulties.
Did they lose my mic too?
No.
Okay.
You're on my mic actually. We're mic'd in together, so we're hold on one moment. We're trying to recover our camera here on the Annoyed with Technology show.
He's hacked us.
This has been an issue that we've had at times. Anthony Davis is enraged that that we're so okay.
Oh, hey.
It didn't like that. It didn't like that. Okay, one moment, please. We're gonna just be backwards this time. Let's see what happens. Can we? It still hears us right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, we're still here.
I'm wondering, what picks they would give us.
Well, and that's sort of the question, right? Like, that would ultimately be those are all whatever. It's all good. We can't even. We're in,
now we lost you.
We've lost everything. Hold on one moment, please. Well, Keith, I think you're just gonna have to slide it in the frame. Unfortunately, we're just gonna have to take it old school because it doesn't want to. We'll give it one more.
It's the new school podcast, though.
Yeah, I know. It's like the new school way to do it, where you do like. There we go. All right. We'll see if you can hold for 30 seconds or more. Don't do the hand gesture.
That's too much bandwidth for.
Okay, so. What we were discussing before the internet so rudely interrupted us is the idea that, and I don't think this would have happened, by the way. I don't think they would ever do this. But, let's say that for whatever reason, the Anthony Davis situation becomes toxic and the Wizards are willing to pay to get rid of him. Maybe that's partway through the season.
Yeah.
And maybe that's not, maybe it just gets bad and the Suns are like, okay, the Jalen Green thing isn't working. Maybe there's some scenario where it starts to make sense. And so you have Jalen Green, who's still young, and the Wizards could kind of theoretically sell to their fans, maybe. Grayson Allen, valuable role player that they can flip somewhere else. Royce O'Neal, valuable role player that they can flip somewhere else. Then, I don't think it wouldn't be first-round picks. But, let's say they included 5 second-round picks. And they're like, they're Wizards second-round picks. So those are almost like the end of first-round picks sort of thing.
Yeah.
And you can turn 5 second-round picks into a back-end first-rounder. So let's say that they flip those 5 seconds to a back-end first-rounder from someone else, like a top 25 protected pick. So it's Anthony Davis and a top 25 protected pick for those 3 players. Like, does a pick entice you at all? Does it change your mind in any way, shape, or form, even though it's a bad pick?
Not really, no.
Okay.
Yeah. Not a back end first round. No.
I agree. And it would obviously never be anything more than that. So
shout out to Otter Pop and goodbye. I blame you for that one.
You're joining us is completely destroyed. We'll have to let's just move into frame at this point. Whatever. You know what we'll do? We'll try. You know what we should just do? For the next episode, we should just set up a more traditional style. We'll see if we like it.
Set up like Conan.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah.
He's got like a folding table.
Like late Conan in when he was doing the the like more like interviews.
Yes, I like that. I was thinking podcast coding, but like
podcast Conan.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, podcast Conan works. So I'm trying to like it's almost in French. Well, anyway. So
I got my boy Tom here.
Oh yeah. You got here. Yeah, you can well, that's not gonna hold up. I don't know. We can actually here talk. Let me.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. All right, you're good. I'll move away too. We're gonna yell in this episode.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's one of those things. We haven't been here in a few weeks. We forgot how to do everything. That's what happens when you go through contract negotiations. So I got to agree with you. Like, I can't put together a situation where this trade makes sense for me. Like, the Suns would have to be incentivized. Like you're asking me to give up 3 players who play in our rotation, you know, for one dude who, again, is just
might play.
And it's like, does this put us somewhere? Like, do we win a game against the Thunder?
Yeah. Like with AD, I think we could. You know, that's the thing. You know, we have AD.
So if we had AD and that put us in the 6th seed, you know, like that might be realistic.
Yeah.
If you had added AD to this team this year, and removed, the thing is that Jalen Green, Royce O'Neal, and Grayson Allen all went through various levels of injury this year. Royce, not as much. But Grayson Allen and Jalen Green missed a lot of the year. And if you were just putting in 50 games of Anthony Davis over that, we probably do win 5 more games. So there is something to be said there. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you get incentivized with picks, it starts to work. But it's just like, from the Wizards' perspective, it's like, why in God's name would they even do that?
It's true.
Like, you know, like why? Like they're hoping to rebuild Anthony Davis's value so that they can trade him for value.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's no like.
Thank you, Pop.
Good to know.
Yeah. And then again, this would be if he was healthy and played. You know, so.
Yeah.
So which is the biggest question mark right now.
That's you know, I mean, I think that I believe. I have heard nothing that indicates that his like career is in jeopardy.
Okay.
And I have heard nothing that indicates that people think that he's not going to be ready for next year. So I think that it's reasonable to assume that he can, again, 60 games would be what I am looking for from him. With him sitting out, I would have him, we're not playing back-to-backs, you know?
Yeah.
So right there, you're taking out like 15 games or whatever. Yeah. And then there would just be certain games where you're not playing in New Orleans. You don't need to go there. New Orleans sucks. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going there. You don't have to go there. It's weird for him because he was from there. I'm just like, you just don't even have to go. Like, just go rehab. You know, like I would just let him skip certain games. Like, you don't have to go play Brooklyn. You don't have to go play their team of 20-year-old nobodies. If you want to, because it's Brooklyn, that's fine. But I'm just saying, like, I would go to Anthony Davis and be like, you're skipping back-to-backs. You can play whichever one of the back-to-back that you want, but you'll skip one of each one. And you can skip all the games against a team that fucking suck. We just want you to play the 55 games that we need you in to help us win 55 games, you know? Yeah. And Malawach then gets to start 27 other games or whatever.
You think we'll start Malawach this year?
Well, I think in a scenario in which you started Anthony Davis 55 games, it would make the most sense to play Malawach in those other games because you would want Malawach to learn from AD.
That's true.
I think right now I kind of feel like Oso is going to start next year.
Yeah, you were saying they might let Williams walk and just start Oso and keep Malawach.
I kind of think that's where we're headed. Like, I think that the Suns, like, they invested a lot in Williams and they know that, but you can't let the sunk cost fallacy force you to sign a contract that isn't good. Yeah. And the thing about Williams is, like, we know he's a talented player.
Yeah.
We know what he can bring to the team, but we also know that, again, like Anthony Davis, like, maybe you could find a way to have Mark Williams go to the Wizards in part of a sign and trade for Anthony Davis. Like, maybe that would be a way to, like, you know,
yeah.
Like if we could keep Grayson Allen and trade Mark Williams instead, and I keep Grayson Allen and I include Anthony Davis, or I add Anthony Davis at the cost of Jalen Green, Mark Williams, and Royce O'Neal, I'm looking at that. That's something I would actually do.
Yeah, I would be interested in that,
Yeah.
Because Williams was injured too this year.
Right.
It's one of those things with big guys.
And in that case, you're swapping a younger injured dude for an older injured dude, which of course is a risk, but AD has way more track record than Williams, and of course his peaks are way better.
Yeah.
Now, maybe Williams gets great in Washington and blah, blah, who knows? But I'm saying, like, in a scenario where I can keep Grayson Allen and I can get in on the AD stuff, then I'm interested.
Yeah.
No picks going either way. And I'm basically trading Williams' potential, Jalen Green potential, and Royce O'Neal, they'll flip for someone else. So for them, that's a pick.
Yeah.
And then they're getting two dudes on potential, and then they're getting out of potentially having to pay AD. That's something I would look at. But I don't know that, like,
yeah,
Yes,
I think I'd rather rock with Green, honestly.
Yeah.
Than trade for.
You like Jalen Green more than me. Yeah. There's no question about that. I wasn't unhappy with how he played in the playoffs, though.
Yeah.
I have to see so much more of what we saw the last 5 games of the season.
Yeah.
Against the Warriors in the 4 Thunder games where he played off the ball and worked his ass off to be in position. I have to see more of that. And it's just hard those were 5 games and we didn't win. I mean, we won the Warriors game because of him. But that's the thing. It's like, yeah, like you get fooled sometimes by the lure of potential sometimes make you make stupid choices. Like, why did the Blazers pick Sam Bowie over Michael Jordan? Why did the Blazers again pick Greg Oden over Kevin Durant? Why did we pick DeAndre Ayton over Luka Doncic?
Yeah, because
you see big and you think about talent and potential and all these things, and it's just.
They thought he was Wemby,
Right. They thought Ayton was Wemby, and and that's the thing. It's like the Spurs, they got the guy who was Wemby.
Yeah.
And it's the lure of talent can be, because the thing about Luka is just that his athleticism was never going to be what any of the other guys were.
Right.
And so it's just like you just wondered. And that still has held him back. It holds him back.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Like it's a brutal thing, but I'm with you. Like, I understand the idea that, because again, Williams is 24, Green is 24. Like, there is still like potential value with these guys.
Absolutely.
Whereas there is a level of, you're not going to get like 2018 Anthony Davis,
right?
You're not getting that. Like, so
that's interesting. Trade though
with the Anthony Davis one.
Yeah, it's just we have been talking about getting a big.
That's a lot closer to like the Ja Morant stuff makes no fucking sense.
Yeah,
Anthony Davis that's more.
I would be much more. I wouldn't like. Be done with the team if we did that. Like, obviously, I would be done if we traded for Ja Morant, but 6 people for Ja Morant, like 4 people and 2 picks, like, get out of here.
Like that, yeah, that is so ludicrous. Like one thing that I find crazy about fans, is how little they actually understand trade value, and even within ESPN, which is supposed to be like the number 1 place for this shit. Their understanding of value is so fucking far off.
Who needs a bench?
Ja Morant has negative value right now.
Yeah.
Like, you would have to incentivize a team to take him. Like, he has not been good in a very long time. His attitude last year was fucking horrendous. Like,
that trade is based off on his like all-star year. And he hasn't had that. It's how many years removed is it from that? It's like they are not going to get that.
Remember when he said, "I'm good in the West"?
Yeah.
And that was like, he's like, "We're good. We don't need any." Okay. How good are you? And they've literally fallen apart. He said the only team was afraid of was Boston. He said the only team was I'm good in the West. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, how did that work out for you? Oh God, I hate people who say that, but it's honestly not true.
young.
I'm building the new studio in my head right now.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm envisioning how this is gonna work. It's very exciting. Again, the Miles Bridges stuff drives me crazy. I think it's complete foolishness. The one other thing I have seen a few, like, it's interesting because we're not going to be anywhere near the top of anyone's draft discussions because of
we got 47th pick in the second round.
Right. Yeah. It's just and so it's like when you look at Suns draft prospects right now, that's the thing. That's why I think the Anthony Davis stuff and the Giannis stuff, all these things, a lot of it is because of the fact that we have nothing.
I actually saw that Bradley he did pretty well in the combine, and he's also kind of late in the second round. I would be, we need a point guard.
I wouldn't hate Jaden Bradley at all. I also saw Koa Pete is seriously considering going back to UVA.
I saw, because he did really bad in the combine.
Yeah, it hasn't. I heard a lot of people say they just want him to go back to college. So it's certainly interesting to see what ends up happening there, because who the hell knows, right? Let's see. And then so that's the thing, is that we end up with all these crazy discussions, and it's and then you go through this stuff. This reminds me of going through with Alex Len, back in the day, and it was you're talking yourself into stuff like Caravan from UConn, great. He's a great college player, but it's what is he going to provide in the pros? There's so much. George Niang and Sam Hauser. It's okay, great. Those are okay, but
Niang did okay sometimes.
Yeah, Niang's had a nice career. This dude will be 23 by the time the season starts. That's a lot of the other problem too. Is a lot of these dudes are so much older. In the second round, I'm almost man, find me whatever fucking 18-year-olds are declaring that should not declare. Oh my God, NBA comparison, Sam Hauser, George Niang. This guy just is he's trying to find a Sam Hauser and George Niang for the Suns. How many more times are we going to find that? NBA comparisons, Oso Iguodala, if he could hit free throws and rebound. Jesus Christ.
This guy hates Oso.
Yeah, this guy, I don't know that we should trust any of these. NBA comparisons, Klay Thompson, high-end, Kobe Bryant, realistically. That's fucking hilarious.
Well, we don't need another Kobe Bryant.
Oh my God.
We already have one.
NBA comparison, Caleb Martin. Okay. And this is bright side of the sun. So it's you look at, again, the big border, and it's just so hard to know, because you're literally this shit is fucking, it's a crapshoot anyway.
Here we are.
And so you get into, the Suns. Yeah. So they've got Jaden Bradley at 48. Yeah.
And we have 47.
Yeah.
And we need a point guard,
Yeah.
So
he's certainly, I think, in the mix for the Suns. I've seen that. I've seen that same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also saw that we were interested in a guy from Michigan State. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. But I don't know.
Jeremy Fears Jr.
Is that yeah.
He's another point guard.
That is the other name I saw.
Again, Michigan State, obviously, we know that, our guys love Michigan State.
Yeah.
Koa Pete is way the hell down this list. Is he even on this top 100? My God. Wait. I didn't see him. Wow. Oh, wait. Hold on. Oh, here we go. They've got him at 20.
Okay.
I was like, God damn, he's not even in the top 100. I was like, what happened?
I heard he dropped to 30, but 20.
Yeah, I'm actually, let's see this is,
when was this done?
this is ESPN, this is Jeremy Woo.
Okay.
So this is their current draft guy. This is 2 weeks ago. Let's see. Pete has been one of the more divisive players in the class, with scouts conflicted on whether his physicality, toughness, and defensive smarts can overcome his mid-range heavy shot selection in the long run. Yeah, It's definitely interesting. I definitely like. I want to see Koa Pete do well.
Yeah.
I don't hate the Jaden Bradley thing at all. Like, I think, again, the biggest thing to me is that we both sort of agreed at the end of the season that you want to pretty much run it back and then kind of try to add where you can. Mm-hmm. And so, like, all the stuff we're talking about, Aaron Gordon, Anthony Davis, all of those things are speeding up a timeline that isn't there. Like, I feel like, these roster spots, like, again, like, we got better this year. Let's try to win 5 more games next year. Let's try to get some of these young dudes, like, find a couple of undrafted young guys with some potential. See if you can't steal a role player. Yeah. Like, I just think that's the smart way to do this, because if we keep trading everything we have, again, that's why the Anthony Davis thing makes sense to me when we are getting back an asset. Like, if they were trading us a late first round pick and we were trading them Mark Williams instead of Grayson Allen, like, I would be all over that trade. Because then we're kind of, when Anthony Davis's salary comes off the books, it's a huge slot. We're, compressing salary into one dude a little bit. Plus, we're getting a first round pick. Plus, we're getting out of some money that we don't need to spend in Williams. Like, that's way different to me. But again, that's a scenario in which, like, you got to get the exact right trade conditions.
Yeah.
And they're probably not gonna, go for that sort of thing. So,
and like you've been saying, like with the playoffs lately, is chemistry has been a huge factor. So if we can kind of keep the same team, like if we do what they're talking about, John Morant, we're sending away like half our team. Not really, but like that's a lot of people, 4 people. Yep. Royce and Allen, those like part of our chemistry.
Right.
What was it? It was Highsmith and who else?
Bouye.
I mean, so yeah, it would be more like losing Royce and Allen.
Yeah, I mean, Highsmith and Bouye are literally just sort of they're just names that make the numbers fit exactly. But the inclusion of the 2 second-round picks to me is the ludicrous part. Like, why in God's name would we have to incentivize them further? Like, again, they are not being realistic about where John Morant is in his career right now. He was damn near out of the league.
Right.
Like, his shit was almost over. So this idea that you have to give a big trade package and he's going to be an all-NBA player, I don't see any of it happening.
That's just them trying to sabotage the Suns.
Yeah, like, I just
don't. ESPN hates the Suns. They said we're going to be 13 going into this season. Like,
they have no respect for us. They never do. And this is just more of the same bullshit. I don't like any of this stuff. Like, I just think the smartest thing to do, because, like, again, you've dug your hole, but first round picks are coming. You will have picks again.
Yeah.
And instead of just trading them all away, let's start making them. Like, let's start. And again, like, I know you're not going to find superstars at 30 and 27 and all these things. I understand that, but you can find role players. You can find guys who can play a little bit. And every now and then you get lucky. And, every now and then you get lucky and a pick ends up higher than you were supposed to, because, we need to start being like, when teams are looking to get in a trade, we need to get in on that trade and help facilitate and get, like, pick swaps out of it. Like, we need to be the team that's facilitating. We don't need to be, like, trying to do stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like, the Anthony Davis thing is like, if the Wizards come to a point where he is toxic to them and they want to get rid of him, and they will pay us to do it, I'm very interested.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm talking about. It's like, I want us to start getting paid. We need to do what Oklahoma City did for years.
Yeah.
It's like, I know that we want to put a team around Booker. I understand that. I'm not saying that we shouldn't. But I'm saying, like, if you facilitate 3 or 4 deals and suddenly you have 3 or 4 assets, now you suddenly maybe have the ability to make a move to get a player next to Booker that actually matters.
Yeah.
Like, that. Just the thing is, like, the Durant thing, you did get a player that mattered in Dylan Brooks. And so it's like, now you need to figure out who is the next dude. We've got to figure out a big man who can protect the rim, whatever that is. Maybe it's Malawach.
Yeah.
So it's just, I think the next move should be to play 30 games with the current roster plus whatever player you pick in the second round. Bring back Gillespie if you can,
Yeah.
And go from there. I agree with you. Like, I just think any moves that we could make at this point would ultimately be stupid. Like, unless you're getting paid to do them, we need to be getting as much chemistry as we can. We need to be developing as much as we can. Because it's like, why are you giving up on everyone at this point? Like, we just had a great season.
Yeah.
Why do this shit again where you cash in your great season for a big question mark?
Exactly.
Why do that?
And we have Flemings, we don't know what we have with him.
That's the other thing. We haven't even talked about Rasheer Fleming, who has been awesome and who literally might really be a real fucking talent.
Yeah.
And so, like, I just think there's too much here to do. Now, again, if it's Williams and it's Royce O'Neal and it's Jalen Green and you're getting him back a first round pick with him, then I'm interested more because that will also open up minutes for Rasheer Fleming.
Yeah. So
there are things, but we need to be getting assets too. And I just want the Suns in any trade right now. I need a swap. I need an extra second. I need an extra this. We need to be getting all those little things because we lost so much of it.
Yeah.
And every little one that we can get back is going to rebuild the coffers, and suddenly we'll be in a position to make an addition. And we don't have to go over the top. You just do what the Thunder did. They added Jared McCain.
Yeah.
We just need to do some stuff like that. And we can get back to that point and we can win something. So, but that's kind of where I'm at. Is like, let's just because I haven't seen a single rumor, and there will be more. And you never know what's going to come up later in the summer. But until I see something where the Suns are getting materially better, all this stuff to me is just stupid until you get into the, like, let's help other teams make trades. We'll take on some dead money for a player we don't want. Like, I would be perfectly fine signing and trading Mark Williams to another team in order to take back a player that we have no intention of playing, as long as we get a pick back for that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we can take back dead money. Like, we've got to do every single thing that we can, because again, when that player becomes an expiring contract and you have a pick now that's tradable assets that you can add next to Booker, and that can even be by next deadline. So it just, there are opportunities. It doesn't take years to fix this shit.
No.
We act like,
especially after the season we just had.
Exactly. Like, I just think there are so many opportunities to make incremental gains that, dude, when you win 47 games, winning 5 games, more games next year is major. This idea that like every team is going to be the Thunder, where you win 41 games one year and then suddenly win 68. It's like, dude, it's like they were built perfectly. It went that way. They got lucky. The Clippers made a horrible trade. Like you can't just replicate that. Don't be stupid trying to replicate what you can't. And I do think that the Suns, I think their front office is smarter now. So, we'll see.
Yeah.
It'll
be interesting. We'll get a really good idea of where their head's at when they make that pick.
Yes. That's the thing, is that and I think also, like, when we see, do they try to play hardball with Gillespie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And let him go to the market, or do they are they working on, like, let's just get you back here?
It's interesting. Like, would they have signed them already by now if they weren't doing hardball?
I don't think that. No, because like, even though I don't even know if that business is allowed right now, they might be able to agree to it. Okay. But like, even then, like, he's on vacation. Like, teams do take time off at the end of the year, and they're like, we'll deal with this later. Like, it's hardball if he doesn't get an extension done before unrestricted free agency. Okay. If he gets it done, even if he gets it done at the first minute of unrestricted free agency, that's fine. But if we get to like day 2 of free agency and we haven't signed Colin Gillespie, then I am like, he's gone. So at that point, so that's one thing that for me is like, if we see in the next, Suns and Gillespie, it's going to be 3 years and $36 million. Then I'll know, like, okay, they meant that they're running this thing back. But if you see like, well, maybe not, Suns have other like.
We're not even talking about Goodwin. He's a free agent too.
Right. Well, because that's the other thing, is we know they're going to play hardball with Mark Williams.
Yeah.
And so that I know. So the question becomes, the problem for Goodwin is just like, the money's not unlimited. And so it just, if you can get Gillespie to take 8 and Goodwin will take 6, both on 3-year deals, wonderful. I just don't know that you can do that. Like, I don't know that Gillespie, I think that someone might offer Gillespie the full mid-level.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe that's crazy. Especially considering how he played in the playoffs and stuff. He started really hot and faded down the stretch. I'm not sure that anyone's going to give him huge money. And so again, maybe like, again, for Goodwin, who was coming off that minimum, maybe 3 years and 18 million is something he'll take. I don't know. Like, it can be very difficult to gauge value with players who are role players and mid-level exception players because there's only so much money to go around. Yeah. There's so many roster spots. Teams are obsessed with youth. And when you have these sort of veteran dudes, it can be really hard to figure out who's going to get what. But I agree with that. Like, I just think, like, I'm at the point where I just think bring back Goodwin, bring back Gillespie, just let Williams walk. You paid too much for the trade. It doesn't matter. Again, you don't sign him just because of that. If you can get him to an easily tradable deal to a number that's 3 years and, again, 36 million, like I said about Gillespie, then fine. Because you still have his bird rights, so you don't need to use the mid-level exception for that. But it's just like everything has to be in service of remaining flexible. You can't lock yourself into anything. You need to add assets because, again, Booker still has time. You've got Brooks. You're keeping him. You got 2. So now you just got to figure out, what am I doing with Gillespie? What am I doing with Jalen Green? What am I doing with Mark Williams? What am I doing with Oso Ighodaro? And then, do I believe in Kamal Malawach? And Ryan Dunn is probably the odd man out at this point.
Yeah.
And I think he is someone who could potentially be trade fodder. Yeah. I love Ryan Dunn, but it doesn't seem like the organization does anymore.
Yeah.
So, that is what it is. We'll see. I mean, I agree with you, though. I think, but I will say that the key to me on how I believe the team is operating is what I see with Gillespie. And if I see Gillespie gets a nice, healthy contract as a show of good faith for what he's done, then I will believe that this team is really running it back. And if I see them playing hardball and preparing to make a bunch of moves, then I'm going to be putting Jalen Green in the trade machine a lot because that will be where it goes. Because it will be something like they let Williams walk and then Jalen Green, Ryan Dunn, and Royce O'Neal become a trade package for. And again, I'm not saying I want them to do that. I'm just saying that's what's going to happen if they do that. So we'll see. We'll see what we get. Yeah. Any last thoughts?
No, I mean, I'm looking forward to the draft now. Free agency.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. I always love when we bring in U of A dudes. So if they do draft Jaden Bradley, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
like you said, we do need. I think if you draft Jaden Bradley, though, I do think that's like. I mean, I think that's another guard, but generally it's a second round pick. You don't really make roster decisions based on that. So, but I'd love to see U of A guys playing for us. So, all right, next week we'll try a side by side or whatever it is.
The podcast,
a Conan style. Good episode. Season 2. Appreciate you. Sorry for the camera stuff. We'll figure it out.
See you, Pop. Outer Pop.
Peace.